Hi, I'm Bennett Kelly. I've been involved in politics since I was 15 years old, and I can honestly say this is the most important election in my lifetime. So I'm making these videos to address some common myths of the Trump presidency and his campaign. In this video, I want to talk about the notion of the Trump economy. Trump likes saying that he had the greatest economy ever, and inversely that Biden's is the worst. Neither one is true. Trump's economy was not the best, far from it. His pre-pandemic growth, job growth, wage growth were all lower than under Obama. He inherited a strong economy from President Obama, and then he hampered it with a trade war with China, which cost us 300,000 jobs and led to a 24% increase in farm bankruptcies, despite Trump's $28 billion farmer bailout. That is twice the size of the 2009 auto industry bailout. Studies by the Congressional Budget Office and Federal Reserve estimate that Trump's tariffs cost a typical U.S. household as much as $1,280 a year and led to a 0.5% reduction in long-term GDP growth. All the while, the trade deficit spiked to $916 billion, a record and 21% increase. Now he wants to add more tariffs to cost a typical American family $1,500 per year. In contrast, The Economist magazine said the Biden-Harris economy is the envy of the world, and the World Bank credits the Biden-Harris economy with driving the continued global expansion. Donald Trump spiked our deficit to record levels, increasing it 50%, with a tax giveaway to the rich that was supposed to fuel economic expansion, but has only spiked the deficit by $1.9 trillion with little impact on jobs. Remember, Trump promised to deliver an infrastructure deal and boost manufacturing in the U.S. economy? He didn't, but Joe Biden did. With his infrastructure deal and the CHIPS Act, Biden is creating jobs across the country. More importantly, he's bringing high-tech manufacturing back, which is vital to our national security. He's bringing it back to the U.S., and with the U.S. supply of the semiconductor market set to grow to 30% when it was zero under Trump. Trump and his radical Republican allies want to repeal the CHIPS Act. Now Trump wants to impose massive tariffs that conservative Wall Street Journal economists say would create inflation and harm the economy. Some say it would cause a depression. The Peterson Institute says Trump's tariff and deportation proposals could lower GDP by as much as 9.7%, and inflation would be over 7 points higher. That's a recipe for disaster. These same economists say the Harris agenda is pro-growth and will lower inflation. Finally, one other consideration in terms of whether you'll be better off. Never forget that Donald Trump came within one vote of repealing Obamacare. He said he was going to replace it with something beautiful. If elected, he's going to try to do so again, but 7 years later, he still doesn't have a plan, just a concept of a plan. He doesn't care about you. He's in bed with business and the radical Republicans who have tried to repeal Obamacare 70 times. In contrast, Biden and Harris have strengthened Obamacare and are fighting with Big Pharma to bring down drug costs. They've capped insulin at $35 and bringing prices down for 54 drugs under Medicare. They're on your side, not Trump.